Good morning everyone. My name is Kevin Parker. I'm your facilitator today, and what we're going to do is a training workshop called Bench to Boardroom. More specifically, Bench to Boardroom for physical science researchers. Training in commercialization skills for people involved in the physical sciences, computer sciences and engineering. What we're going to do today is to give you some tools that will enable you to answer the question, I've invented this, does anyone want it? Is it valuable to anyone? We're going to look at what I call innovation. What is it that actually makes an invention commercial? We're then going to look at market analysis. How do we find out what we should sell and who we should sell it to? What is it that investors look for when they invest in a project? What are the financial projections that we have to make for an entrepreneurial project? And what are the key calculations and what are the key things? I'm going to be presenting some theory, but a colleague of mine, Tony Aldous, he's going to tell you a little bit about the practice of investing from his point of view. We'll be addressing the issue of managing complex projects. Very often we find that we haven't quite got the right thing that the customer wants. They'll say something like, please change this a bit. I would buy it if it was green. I would buy it if it was 20 gigahertz. I would buy it if it passed phase 3 clinical trials. We need to do some work, not research work really, but development work to make that project happen on time and on budget. And there's usually a certain amount of complexity in that, and there are ways that we can deal with that complexity so we do deliver the product, the outcome, on time and on budget. Okay, what other points are important?
The minimum.
What about the minimum?
Well, you have to prevent yourself from going into the negative.
Yes. Okay. So we'd like to know what about it?
How low?
How low it gets, yeah. How bad is it going to get? And what else do we want to know?
When?
When. Brilliant. Why do we want to know when?
To have an idea on when to stop sinking fund.
Yeah. Right. We want to know at what point do we expect this to come up, when's it going to be at its worst? I guess one of the first questions you ask is, why are we doing this? Why are you here? Why are people paying me to deliver this course to you? Why don't we have a British Microsoft? And on a Scottish front, why don't we have a Scottish Nokia? Finland is a country that has a similar population size to Scotland. It's probably even more physically isolated, and yet they have one of the world's leading technology companies. There is a lot of interest in commercialization. David Cameron has said the UK will pull itself out of its economic problems by innovation and science and technology. What that means is increasingly for postgraduates, for researchers, principal investigators, you have to learn the language of commercialization even if you just want to apply for research grants. Broadly, what we would all like to see is increased growth in the UK economy. If you look at economic statistics, the UK has had a growth rate of about 2.5% for the last 10, 20, 30, actually the last 150 years. There's almost nothing we can do to bang that growth rate up. If you then think about all the different type of macroeconomic policies, all the different chances of exchequers that we have had, is that economic growth has got very little to do with macroeconomics. What it has to do with are the microeconomics as people like you coming up with bright ideas and taking them to the world. So you see that program Dragon's Den. The inventor stands up in front of all the dragons and says, we're offering you 10% of the shares in our company and we want £5 million. And the dragon turns around and says, no, I'll give you £2 million for 40%. So what I'm going to do is show you how they do those calculations. running right the way through the day, we are going to have a business game. I call the simulated technology stock market. We're going to have 5 companies that you are going to buy and sell notional shares in. And what you're going to do is to change your portfolio of investment according to how you feel the companies are doing. I'm going to be giving you news items about those companies, and you'll be mapping what it says in that news item with what I have talked about for innovation, with the way I've described the companies do market analysis. You'll be looking for their skills in project management. You'll be looking for their analysis of money. And you'll be buying and selling shares in those companies based on that analysis.
In those slides there.
Yeah, because it should be
Find out
8 times 2 is 160, so it's 70.
probability of that.
We've already placed our well.
It's a real example. Really, when I worked for special orders for rolling copper tubes.
Placed, it's got some good quality research, and it translates very well into products which people want to buy. Ultimately, so 10 years out, we've got through the development process. And then it's a matter of, well, have you got a business plan that's structured sensibly? Does it read well? Do we understand it? Is it credible? Have we got a management team together? Do people understand finance? I've spent probably the last 15 years looking at business plans or propositions that people have to take new products to market. So I probably have a fair background with that kind of area. So I've, like yourself, sounds like you've got a few scars. I've seen quite a few projects that have worked very well. I've seen quite a few projects that haven't worked very well.
The next reason is that you are really interested in commercialization because you would like to become rich, famous, travel the world, meet interesting people. And these are all good reasons for being interested in commercialization. However, the thing that strikes me when I talk to real technology entrepreneurs is that they don't do it for any of these reasons. If I ask them, why did you start this project, it's usually something like this. I wanted to see my invention make a difference. I wanted to see my good idea turned into some kind of useful reality. An interesting comparison with someone like Joanna Rowling, who, when asked about the Harry Potter books, she said, I just wanted to see them on the shelf. I didn't want to become a billionaire, I just wanted to see them in the bookshop. And that is actually the reason quoted by most entrepreneurs. I wanted to make a difference. And in this world, in our market economy, the way that you actually make a difference is by getting products or services or technology out of the university into what we call the real world. And the shorthand for that, getting it into the real world, is basically commercialization or innovation. And that's why we're here today.
Today's course on commercialisation of innovation was really successful and certainly gave us all something to think about and motivated us to think about setting up our own businesses and taking our products to market.
It was very interactive and it has exposed me a lot to the ideas of innovation and the plans I have for a wireless sensor network.
I found they very useful. I think I will look at even academic grant applications with a different mindset. But I'm also very interested in exploiting commercial opportunities after this.
The workshop has been very great, useful, innovative, interactive.
Well, it'll enable me to look at the commercialisation aspect of our research in a bit more informed. It's given me a lot of tools to do that. I really enjoyed it, really commend it.
Today was really a great workshop for me because it's really help me understand commercialisation a lot better, and it will really help me to support the development of the commercial aspects of the project that I manage at the moment. So, thumbs up.
In fact, it's just very credible. I love it. Thanks.